sisters of the world.
Welcome back to everyone joining us on this beautiful evening as everything's, being ruined around us. Napoli's defense, Juventus' defense. I mean, our defense in a few days, maybe. Uh,
Exactly.
yeah, we'll get into all of that. So I'm joined by Ian and Dave today. Mikey is absent again. Um, is he leaving us for good? I don't know. He has to answer those questions
Mikey,
because
not Skriniar.
Mikey doing the screen here. But yeah, guys, how have you been, Ian? You you've been slacking in the past few weeks, huh?
No excuses. Got to put the grind to it. I'm back. I'm ready. Skriniar. Now I'm taking a leave of absence.
Dave, how have you been, my man?
I've been good, man. I've been good. Just following the Mercado news. You know how it goes. It's like an up and down thing going on, and of course, we've already had a couple of preseason matches. So just going through the motions of preparations for the season, and I'm liking some things. I'm not liking some other things. So I'm sure we're gonna discuss all of it. But all in all, I'm good, man. So it's good to be back on. I think it's been a couple of weeks since we did the last one, right? With 3 weeks already. That's
Exactly three
crazy.
weeks, yeah.
That was with old boy John. Shout out to John again, and thank you for the intro because I love hearing it every time.
I mean, it's been hectic, as you guys know. In between those weeks, we've been talking about Lukaku rejoining, what Dybala said, the news surrounding him, Mkhitaryan possibly coming, Villanova, million other players, and in between, we actually signed most of those players, including Mkhitaryan, who is gonna be, I think, an amazing impact player as a replacement for someone like Çalhanoğlu, who we didn't have a good replacement for him last season.
Uh-huh.
So I think he'll have a great impact. And I'm a man. Lukaku is back, bro. I know he's been in the works for months now, but to finally see him back, it's a nice feeling, but it's a bittersweet because of how he left. I know that he said some comments about, he didn't leave in the right way, blah blah blah. He should not have left. But what do you make of that, Dave? And what do you make of him taking the number 90, which I thought was marketing 101 going badly?
Yeah.
Like, what the
Um,
fuck was that?
I don't know. I'll say like my feelings about the whole thing. They've evolved as the thing has evolved, as the whole saga has evolved. Of course, with everybody, just like everybody, like every Interisti. Um, after he left us last summer, I was wishing him the worst. I was not one of those guys. I was tuning in the Chelsea matches, hoping he does well or he proves that he was really a top striker. I will admit it. I was one of those guys. I was happy. I was fully participating in the Lakaka situation. I was retweeting every video and stuff like that. Fast forward to the interview where he pretty much recognized that he left us in a way that he shouldn't have, and that he owed us or whatever. I mean, even then, I didn't care too much because I felt like he was just doing it to clean up his image. You know, even though he did say some things there that I felt were kind of crazy and that were going to make his position kind of hard, still being a Chelsea player. Uh, Not even in our wildest dreams did we know that it was going to evolve to where we're at right now. So fast forward to him actually firing his agent, negotiating personally to come back, taking a wage cut. Even further now, like you see how he's been behaving since he's arrived. He's been like the model citizen, or hugging everybody, taking Aslani under his shoulder. I mean, under his wing already. And even at the presentation of the new kit, we saw how he was pretty much he's humbling himself. Like, yeah, I left. It was a mistake. I know Barella was right. He said that in so many ways. So yeah, that's my long-winded way of saying that how my feelings evolved to now where I'm at a point where it's not bittersweet anymore. I fully embrace the guy and I'm fully behind him because I know personally I've made some questionable mistakes in my life, so seeing that he's fully humbled himself. He's not avoiding the subject. He's fully entering the topic and telling us what we want to hear as fans. I'm fully behind the guy. I back him. I think he's going to have a very good season. And quickly about the number 90, I'm sure you guys seen it on Twitter. I'm really one of those guys. I guess I'm old school when it comes to that. I'm really strict when it comes to numbers and stuff. So I don't like it. It looks like an NFL player's number, a defensive end. Hristo, I know you like that since you've been following the NFL, and the fact that the guy is the size of a defensive end doesn't help either. So like, what are you doing, guy? But I think that is gonna change before the season starts. Hopefully it revolves around the seven. Maybe when Sanchez leaves, Deco goes to seven and he gets the nine or something like that. But I can't see him going into the season uh with a number 90, even only from a marketing standpoint. Like the club are not gonna sell as many kits as they would have sold with a regular number, with a number 90, and that's your biggest player. So no, from a marketing standpoint, it's stupid to even let him have that 90. Yeah, I think it's gonna be changed.
Yeah.
I just looked. The number 18 is free. No one's taking it, so
Ah,
might as well rock it back. I don't know. Like the number 90 seems so weird. Like, come on. Even everything above like 20s, all right, everything about like above 37 for me is so weird seeing now because like for screen I get it. For
You've
Paris, you
gotten
got
used to it, yeah.
44. But then like
Mm,
number 99, you put it on the Primavera kid, and that's
exactly.
about it. Brozovic at least had the logical explanation behind the number 77, which is like the
Uh-huh.
11 mistaken. And it's like,
Mm.
yeah. But no, I think me regarding Lukaku is I think I'm like a walking contradiction. If you go like 2 episodes back, I think I said I don't want him, or that I didn't think it's gonna happen. I'm glad I did. I can finally use my Inter Chinese kit with his name on the back, which only arrived after he left. So good thing that's still in the package. Um, no, but I don't know. I haven't seen much of the friendlies, but from what I saw, he really should be scoring against Monaco if he was playing. I think he didn't even play, or did he play?
Who,
He played against
who are we
Monaco.
talking about? Who are we talking about?
Monaco match.
Yeah, who Lukaku?
Lukaku.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't
I
know.
mean, well, I mean, I'm glad you prefaced that comment by saying that you haven't seen much of the match.
Yeah,
I think the situation is that our guys, well, since we're talking about the Monaco match yesterday, we were 10 days in to our camp. Since guys came off the vacation, even shorter for like the main guys, the Barellas, the guys that had to be in the nation leagues. Those guys came in 2 days ago, and we saw the pictures when they were first coming back into camp. Whereas Monaco, as Inzaghi said, they started their camp June 16th. So I mean, they've been running their guts out for almost, well, over a month now. They've
over a
been
month.
running their guts out. They're more into football pace, football shape, more or less, and we see it with the intensity, and we couldn't keep up with them. I think that's what it was. But even then, I think Lukaku still managed to show his class on the second goal. Like, that's something that doesn't happen without him. I feel like we'll be fine. That's why I'm not really uh, even analyzing performances other than maybe Aslani, who's been so far ahead of the pack that you have to help. You can't help but to notice it. But I'm not really and analyzing anything too deep right now because I feel like the guys are just not even into shape yet. So within a couple weeks, I'm sure we're gonna start seeing what we want to see.
Yeah, that's why I said I'm basically a walking contradiction at this point. I haven't been keeping up with much things, so regarding performance-wise, but I heard that he had an assist for the Aslani goal. Calvin said in the chat, so at least that's nice to see.
Not so much an assist, I guess. He pretty much he was on a run, and he pretty much cut back on the defender and had a shot. Now the shot was saved by the keeper, and then it bounced right back to Aslani. So I guess
It's pretty.
not an assist, but he created the goal more or
It's a
less.
contribution.
Yeah, he definitely contributed to it.
I have to say I haven't seen a single minute of. I mean, I'm lying. Yesterday I tuned in at like 58 minutes just to see what's happening at the Monaco game, and I mean, I was like, it's friendlies, and friendlies are the worst indicator in the world because in the friendlies you can look amazing, and you still be out of the squad in 20 days, or you can be an amazing guy, and then we will be left wondering, oh, why was he left out of the squad, or why was he loaned out to X
Hmm.
team? So it's a it's an interesting gauge in a sense that you can get the style of the player. You can get how Aslan is playing, like the style and how agile he is, how he's good in sliding into players. Just I think stylistically you can see a player or two, but when it comes to their ability, the friendlies are just time wasters for at least for fans. And I've been I don't know. I would say avoiding anything interrelated when it comes to I don't know announcing players and whatnot. Because I mean, I've been disappointed in the recent news that they're still pushing players to leave the club when they have to make money at the end of next season. I don't know what to say. I think in the coming weeks we'll see Skriniar finally leaving Inter and Bremer joining. Will make some money off of him. I think the latest sum or amount of money that I've seen Inter paying for Bremer is like around 30 million, and Inter is expected to cash in around 60 to 65 for Skriniar.
Yeah,
I'm just like Inter have been the one of the worst clubs when it comes to selling players, with the exception of Lukaku last season.
bro.
Selling
Every time you say that, I cannot agree with you. What do you mean? How so? Like we sold Lukaku for that amount of money. Icardi, we
Mhm.
robbed them.
uh,
Hakimi,
how
we
much?
that was a highway robbery. So what do you mean? Like if you're talking about pre Morata, maybe. But I mean, it's been a good 4 or 5 years now where we've been even incoming and outgoing transfers have been pretty good in my opinion, unless it's a guy that doesn't want to leave, like a guy Gagliardini that we couldn't sell.
I mean, didn't we sell Hakimi for like 60 to 65, I think, after buying him for 45. An amazing first season. And I don't know, De Ligt will be sold in the coming days for 75 after spending 3 seasons pretty awful, if you ask me.
And how
Uh,
much did they spend on him? 75, pretty much.
85, 85.
So they spend
They're
more.
losing,
So they're losing on him. You know what I mean?
they're losing
So
50 million. I'm just saying, if Theo was sold into this market, I don't think he's going below 60, if you ask me, because there's no one like him on the left back position. Same with Hakimi, like he was and he is the best wing back in the world, full stop.
hmm
So
hmm
I don't know. I would say they have improved, but I don't think Inter is a good selling club. Uh, I mean, I think Inter should earn more on Skriniar, a player that doesn't want to leave. Um, I think it's a bad management to leave. Is his contract running out at the
okay,
end of
bro.
next
Let's
season?
let's let's
Next,
let's look let's look at it like that, right? As us Inter fans, we know the guy loves the club. We know like he'll probably play for free if he came down to that. Um, but whatnot. But when you get to the negotiating table with Paris Saint Germain, they're gonna show you like, okay, this guy has 1 year left on his contract. So to
I
get
mean,
65 to 70, then they don't give a damn about, oh yeah, he loves the club. Oh, we can renew him. We If he wants to renew, but right, they when you're negotiating, you look at a guy that has 1 year left on his contract, or so.
but
And for
whose
us to
fault
get
is?
65 to 70, that's to me, that's a bargain again for a guy that's 1 year left on his contract. Let's look realistically here. Not
No,
let's
no,
take
no.
the
Wait,
field.
just a sec. I do agree with you, but whose fault is that he has only 1 year left on his contract? Is it mine? Is it yours? Whose is
No,
it?
it's the club's fault, but we gotta. It's nonetheless, regardless of what whose fault it is, it's still the reality of things. Like
A
let's
reality
not
they
avoid that.
created.
Of course, but regardless, it is the reality. The reality remains that he has 1 year left on his contract, and clubs are thinking to himself, okay, like why would we? spend 70 to 80 on this guy where we could possibly get him for free or possibly start flirting with him now, agree to a mega contract with him, promise him the world, and just wait it out and agree with him in January for free. You know what I mean? So that's where we're at. And to answer the other question about why we were trying to do it now as opposed to next summer, it's like it's for leverage. Imagine going into next summer with every club knowing that, okay, you know what, they need the money by the end of this summer. Uh, if you think that they're playing hardball now with us, then they're probably going to offer us 40 million for Skriniar, even if we renew him or not, just knowing that we have to sell it. So I feel like that's why they're probably trying to get things over with now. And also the opportunity is presenting themselves with a guy like Bremer, who is I'm very cautious to use the word world class because he's coming off just one outstanding season. Maybe if he could play another good season like that, the same level, and also do the same thing in the Champions League, then I'll be ready to say, okay, yeah, that's a world class defender. But that's still a very high level defender. It's still a very big opportunity. So that's probably why they're doing it right now. It's a matter of opportunity and reality. Yeah.
Are we really that confident about Bremer joining? Because now that De Ligt is basically confirmed to Bayern, they have 18 million to spend.
Uh-huh.
He could stay in the city. He could stay
Uh,
there, not
I
move.
think
Bremer.
I've read about Pau Torres from Villarreal. It seems like if the Ligt is sold, they're going
That's what I
after him
want.
with full force. So I
Yeah.
think Bremer, it's easy for Inter when the player's head is only at Inter. Lautaro has been the same way. So we are able to sign amazing players for a cheaper price than usual if they want Inter and only Inter. It's been the case
Yeah.
with numerous players, including Bremer. And I think if his head was not Inter only, they would have asked
It
for
would-
40,
yeah.
50.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it would have been gone already if it wasn't just Inter only
yeah.
because it's been reported that there've been a couple offers from Premier League clubs,
Mm.
including Chelsea, because one of my boys is a very very big Chelsea fan. He's very close to what's going on at the club. He follows the sources. Before they got to Koulibaly, I believe they made an offer for Bremer, and he chose to wait for us. But to answer your question, Ian, honestly, as soon as I saw it today before we went live that they officially just sold the league, because uh, before the weekend closed on Friday, we were at a point where they were still asking for 100, I believe, and to go from that to everything's official, it's here we go on a Sunday. That kind of shook me up a little bit. I'm like, wow, those guys are rushing to sell the lick because maybe they want the money now so they could go and try to fuck up our situation with Bremer. Especially after on Friday we heard that okay, we're scheduling a meeting on Monday or Tuesday to close Bremer. So maybe they heard that and they're like, okay, what? Let's stop playing hardball for the lick. The guy wants to leave. Let's take the 80 and then let's see what we could do for Bremer. So yeah, I was kind of shook up a little bit about it. But when I sat and calmed myself down and thought more rationally about it, I think he's ours to lose. I think that meeting is been reported the way it is because we're gonna go there and give them what they want. It's reported that we're gonna give him 35 plus Casade, who we value him at 8. So that's probably be a 43 million value right there. So it seems like we're gonna meet the evaluation of Bremer and we're gonna close the deal. So unless Cairo decides to be disloyal and all of a sudden raises the price on us or whatever, I feel like he's ours to lose. I think tomorrow we're gonna go and we're gonna meet his evaluation of the player, which was 40, and we should close the deal.
I mean, the
Hope
season
so.
starts in less than a month, Ian. So
Sorry.
Yeah,
the season starts in less than a month. So it's
Exactly. That's why I'm worried. The ball is still up in the air. I think like Roma have been pretty concrete about him as well.
yeah, they really want him supposedly.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about that? I mean, I'm I'm really like it depends on the day. I have mixed feelings about the whole Dybala situation. Don't get me wrong, I do feel like we need him to reach that ultimate level. But then again, I do feel like he would be a luxury at the wages that he's requesting and stuff like that. But it would suck to see him go to a Napoli or to a Roma. But I guess I'm still holding out hope that it's gonna get done, because it's being reported that we're meeting with Alexis' agent again this week, and we want to make sure he leaves. If we're doing this so hastily, it has to be because we have to move for the Dybala, because no, mind you, we already have our strikers, and we decided that Alexis is out. If anything, we could have spent the whole summer negotiating that severance pay with him and froze him out of all friendlies and shit like that, and a long drawn out negotiation. If the reports are true that we want to close it this week, and we already offered them 4 million that he turned down, let's see, we raise it to 4.5, even 5, because his whole salary was going to be 7, I believe, for the season. We will still be safe. Yeah, it's a crazy contract. We talked about it when it first happened. So we will still be saving 2 mil, even if we paid the guy 5 mil to fuck off. So I think it's gonna get done, and after that, we're gonna go get Dybala, because there's no way that this guy is pretty much waiting around that much, and it's not something. There's definitely something that we don't know about, or that hasn't been reported. An agreement with Marota, something like that he's waiting for us to make the space for him. At least that's what my inner heart wants me to believe.
Ian, is there a bigger loser than Dybala in recent months?
No, no. From starting at Juventus, going to the Champions League finals, God knows what else, to not even having a concrete offer. What was it? Sevilla offered him, what, 3 million? We couldn't close him. Napoli, Roma are now in the mix, and we all know what
Yeah,
the scandal that is, Is
that's wild. I
yeah.
mean, like Hristo said, in recent months, going from, it was reported that Juventus had an offer of 8 million plus bonuses that he turned down,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So going from that to not having any offers at all up until July, till now you're getting Roma saying, "Hey, we'll throw 4 million at you," or Napoli saying, "Hey, we want you, but not at the price you want." That's a big downfall, unless we do see that we clear out Sanchez, and then he ends up at Inter on 6 plus bonuses or something close to that, which was always the plan. Let's just see, man. I think I love and trust Pepe too much for me to see him fumble that, because no way does he feel confident going into the season with a injury prone Correa and a finished 37-year-old Zeko as our backup strikers. That's like playing with fire. That's the same mistake that we made going into the season with a 36-year-old Zeko as our starting nine. So let's not repeat the same mistake. We made it as a starter. Let's not make it again as a backup. We don't want to be one Lukaku or Lautaro injury away from having a striker crisis. So for that reason, I feel like he needs to treat Dybala as somewhat of a priority. But for other reasons I mentioned, I don't. I feel like he's not. It's crazy. I want him, but I want to prepare myself to not feel hurt if we don't get him.
Yeah,
Such a crazy situation that like the whole thing just rests on Sanchez, because I've read that he still believes he can play for a top club. That's why he doesn't want to cut the contract and go back to South America like Vidal did,
Yeah.
because in his eyes he can still play at the top level in Europe.
And
Just like
I don't get this guy, honestly. And today he made one of his usual cryptic posts talking about if you don't, after training, he was talking about, if you don't know who you are, then you're not worth nothing, something like that. So he's pretty much trying to it's around the lines of the Lion and Lamborghini tweets that he usually make. Um, I don't know. I don't understand why he doesn't take those 4 million. Yep,
this
there he goes. Yep,
one.
yep.
Amazing.
Um,
What a man.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, if he does believe in himself so much and thinks that he can play for a top club, why doesn't he take the 4 million that we're offering and then join that top club that for free? I mean, if anything, that would be easier. That would make it easier for him to join that top club if he feels he could still have suitors out there. So I think maybe it's more, or I hope maybe it's more of a situation of he feels he could squeeze more out of us, because he does have leverage. I mean, everybody and their mama knows that we're trying to move Sanchez to get Dybala. So why would he make that easy for us? If he can get to a point where he's like, hey, you guys don't pay me 6 million out of the 7 million. That's what I want. If he's at a point that's where it has to happen, he has the leverage, and especially if Dybala's putting pressure on us on the other end. Think about it, guys. we were just talking about how our guys were out of shape because we just started preseason and all that stuff. Think about a guy that's sitting on his ass on the couch waiting for a team to pick him up. In a World Cup year. This guy is pretty much sacrificing his season before he even starts, waiting for us. He needs to be in somebody's training camp right now, running, getting into fitness, already seeing what the plan is going to be for the season, what his role is going to be, and how he's going to dominate that role to make the World Cup spot. Because it is the I think the Argentinian coach even said it himself, that Dybala is not guaranteed a spot. That's crazy. So yeah, it's a tough spot to be in his position, and I commend him for waiting so long. If he is indeed waiting for us, I just hope the whole Sanchez situation gets resolved, and then we could find out for sure if that's what was holding up the deal or not.
In the end, he's gonna go to Napoli or Roma. I can already see it happening.
I wanted to ask
It,
you that again. Where does Ibala play in a month's time?
Probably not with us. That's all I know.
Tell me a team.
Probably
Tell
won't
me a
even
team.
be picked.
no, not you got to pick one. Which one?
Oh, which one?
Yeah,
Roma, easily. To play under Mourinho, easy.
I think so too. It makes the most sense. If the
Yeah.
league goes, Zaniolo is going to Juventus and Dybala is covering, or
I
at
think
least
Zaniolo's going to Juventus.
yeah, I think so. I
Yeah,
think
yeah, for
Roma is
sure.
just going to get fuck him off to Juventus, and they seem
Oh, yeah.
very
Easy.
interested in him.
Easy. Roma.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. That's the thing. I feel like both of those teams would have to make adjustments to fit him because let's be honest. He's no longer a 10 at this point of his career, nor is he a right winger, in my opinion.
Is he
Because
not a
he's not a
10?
no, in my opinion, he's not a 10. He's not the 10 that can track back and do the defensive role that is required. Not for a full season, in my opinion. That's why I felt like the Inter thing made perfect sense for him to come and play second striker, where we have less physical responsibilities. Because a 10 is not a guy that you get to roam around and with your hand on your hips while the rest of the team works for you. You have to be fully participant in the pressing of the team and ball retention, recreation and stuff like that. So I feel like he's no longer that guy. He no longer has those legs, and his injury record proves it. I feel like Inter makes the most sense for him. Come to a team where you're not gonna be first you're not gonna be first choice. You're not gonna have that much pressure to perform. You're gonna be playing a position where you're all the way at the top of the team. You don't have that much responsibility. To me, man, I don't know. Again, all these things I'm saying they make sense in my head. I don't know if it's because I'm biased as an Inter fan, but
You are.
I don't see him like where is he going to fit with Mourinho? I mean, I guess Mourinho has been playing all types of janky formations this season. He's switched to a back three with Roma. He's kind of
I
let
should
go of
check.
his
Yeah.
patented 4-2-3-1. I don't see where Dybala would play in that. Mind you, you already have Tammy Abraham, you have Pellegrini. Where are you going to play Dybala as a right winger in a 4-2-3-1? He's going to be tracking back, following wingbacks and overlapping fullbacks. No way, man.
I think we're
I don't
giving
see it.
Mourinho. I think we're underestimating Mourinho and his ability to fit in. At the end of the day, amazing players for the league. So
I mean, how? Tell me, how do you see it working out? How do you see Mourinho making Dybala work? Because you can you can have so many of those players on the pitch. A player that's not going to be contributing to the team when you don't have the ball, and that's what Dybala is at this point. That's why we call him a luxury player. Uh, Pellegrini doesn't do it so much. He's also a luxury player. He's more of the fancy attacking 10 player to me. And you have Tammy Abraham, who's a striker. So you can't afford to have three guys who are not pressing their asses off. Not especially not in the Mourinho team. But we'll see,
I
man. I guess it's just me trying to convince myself that it doesn't make sense, but to me it doesn't.
I mean, like, let's close that topic because I think the best for him is yet to come when it comes to news and reliability and whatnot. So far,
Mm,
we've heard so many news. He's
yeah.
waiting for Napoli, he's waiting for Inter, he doesn't want to go to Roma, he doesn't have choices, Sevilla, this and that.
Mm,
What do we know is that the two guys that actually stopped Lukaku Uh, 2 seasons ago, one of them fucked off to the MLS, and the other one went to the Premier League. So, what do we think of Juventus's and Napoli's defense without Chiellini and Koulibaly, respectively? Ian, do you think they can cope with their losses, or you think they will replace them timely and in the best fashion possible?
I think Koulibaly might be their worst loss of the last 5 seasons. I don't see how they can upgrade or even try to replace him accordingly, as you're losing a top three center back of the league, a ball carrier, an amazing tackler, aerial threat, strong. Just the presence of him alone, is enough. It's like I'm talking about Van Dijk here. No,
I mean,
I
to be
mean, I
fair,
mean, to me, it's like they're at the same. They're at the same level. It's like
mm,
Van Dijk,
yeah,
Koulibaly.
neck and neck.
Yeah, to me, the top three in the world. Those two got to be in there.
I think Koulibaly is the best in the world, but don't mind me. Go on.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
don't
gonna
really
give you
know
any
who's
fight
gonna
back on that.
replace him. Like I'm trying to look for rumors or something about who Napoli is going to take, but like
Mm.
who do they even? They have the Albanian
Juan
striker
Jesus as well.
and Juan
Come on,
Jesus.
bro.
There
Get
we
the hell out
go.
of here.
See,
Nah,
that's
if we're talking about replacing him, I think that the guy that they just signed is Ostergaard, the Norwegian
Oh,
guy. He was on loan at Genoa last season. I'm
Genoa.
sure you guys
I
remember him.
mean,
Um, but
it's
I don't.
Koulibaly though. I don't
I know,
think
bro.
like
But then again, yeah, I mean, Risto, it's not like there are Koulibalys running around everywhere that you could go and pick another one up
that's
after
what I
he
was
sell one.
telling him.
But here's the thing. I feel like it was a situation where they really had no control over it. He was ready to leave. It is well, the Napoli president I think came out and said that they made an offer worth 6 million a year for him, right? And he turned that down. Um, for Napoli, by Napoli standpoints, that's a big offer. 6 mil for a 31-year-old defender.
It
He
doesn't
turned it
matter.
down.
His
But
value is immense. His value is
yeah,
more than 6 million to the team, and I don't know. I just don't
I
agree. I
mean,
think
but again, bro, you think they can afford to pay that? They cannot. Like,
they have to.
even Milan that just won a Scudetto, they're not paying those wages, bro. That's why I get so upset about guys that keep saying swooning out. Like, other than Juventus, we're the only team that are paying premium wages to players like 6.5, 6 net and stuff like that.
I mean,
Milan has Ibra, and that's like an exception. Napoli probably their highest paid player right now. I think it's 4 point. He's on 4.5. Roma is not paying those wages either. So it's like, what I mean? And those are the reasons why I was so confident that we would be able to get Dybala over those guys. And as we see, it is turning to that. It's becoming that okay. They're now getting a chance at getting them because it's looking that we can't get them anymore. But before it was never nobody ever took the links to Roma or Napoli serious for Dybala because they know that those wages only two clubs in Serie A are paying them. It's just us and Juve.
okay,
that's
but
why
now
they
But
with
want
the league
to.
on, yeah,
huh?
sorry, go on, Hristo.
No, I'm
No, no,
sorry.
no.
But I was saying, like, to answer your question, Risto, because I didn't get a stab at it. Um, it depends on what Napoli's ambitions are, because you don't know. It seems like it's a change of guard. Like they just lost Mertens, Insigne, and Koulibaly in one summer. This is like,
Mertens?
yeah, Mertens is, yeah, they're not gonna renew him. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
walking for free, and he's being rumored to Lazio right now, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it makes sense because he played his best football under Sarri. But yeah, I don't know. It depends on what their ambitions are. If they're cool with being a team that fights for a top six spot or whatever, that's cool. Or if they want to still be a top four team, they have to go for a more ambitious player than Ostergaard, which is why I was thinking, okay, maybe we can sell De Vrij to them or something like that. That's the closest, in my opinion, they can get to replacing a guy of the caliber of Koulibaly. Because to me, De Vrij is still a guy on borderline world class on his day still, and that would make sense for both parties. But other than that, I feel good that Koulibaly is gone. Chiellini is gone because Chiellini, even though 2 years ago he was already old, he still gave Lukaku a hard time. Koulibaly was the only guy that could really match him physically, gave him a hard time as well. Even the Lick gave Lukaku a hard time. So I guess now it's like it seems like it's everything is lining up for Lukaku to have a good season because all his nemesis are leaving.
Ian, you wanted to say something.
I forgot. I
It
forgot.
doesn't matter. Probably it's
It doesn't matter.
something.
Just
I'm sorry, man.
to throw
I've
it
as
out
you can
there.
see, I've had a lot to say because it's been
No,
3 weeks.
it's okay. But just to throw it out there, for me, for a one-off game, Chiellini best defender in the world. Take that how you want to. For a one-off game, a cup
Chiellini,
final, Chiellini.
probably I would agree with you. I think I like both of them. I think they're an amazing pair as a center backs, and it's one of the best moments for Inter as they're leaving Serie A. Um, let's circle back to Inter. I'm interested in what Ian has to say about the new signings, about Villanova, the prospect of Villanova, uh, Onana, Mkhitaryan.
From what I saw about Beluanova, his ass. That's what I heard. His ass. But I mean, we have to keep in mind this is what a 20-year-old prospect that he wasn't going to come to replace anyone. So take it with a pinch of salt, people. He's here to learn. You know, Dumfries had to adjust. Hakimi had to adjust. I'm sure he will adjust and develop himself. Onana, great pickup. I mean, for free, even. You know, what else do you want to do it? I don't know. Who else did we even get? Aslani we got, right?
Yeah, Aslani.
Amazing. Amazing. I saw people saying he should start over Brozovic. That's how good he is. I mean, I don't know.
Mkhitaryan.
Mkhitaryan. Yeah, oh shit, I forgot. Damn, we signed a lot of free agents.
Yeah,
Uh,
already.
yeah, but I think he's a quality pickup, like him and Hakan to interchange each other, just like for competitiveness sake in the squad, you know, because Hakan last season didn't really have anyone to sub him
To
out.
back
So
him up. Yeah.
he could afford to have a stinker here and there, but not like now. You know, there's another one coming for you, so it's. I think that's
Mm.
good. You know, having competitiveness in the squad is good.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
yeah, and obviously the biggest signing of them all for a year-long loan, number 90 quarterback, or whatever it
Defensive
is.
end.
Yeah, I don't follow that. Sorry.
I know.
I think we fleeced them so hard. I think we're gonna sign him on a transfer next season if it goes all well.
Yeah.
Just because he doesn't want to be there. In the first
Nah.
interview back, like the
Yes,
players
bro.
said
That's
him
crazy.
leaving was a mistake. It's like burn all the
That's
bridges, bro.
crazy. That is crazy, bro. I mean, honestly, don't get me wrong. I mean, we love some good banter, and I'm not gonna say I didn't enjoy going on every single big page that reported it, seeing the Chelsea fans' tears. But another part of me was like, guy, what are you doing? Like, we're still loaning you. This is a loan. Like, you're not guaranteed to stay here. If you fuck around and God forbid, uh, do your ACL or some shit. You know what I mean? And you have to sit for the rest of the season. What do you think? I don't know. Inter are gonna be like, yeah, we're 40. Here's 40 million for this guy. We want to buy him. You know, so he needs to tread very lightly because although the desire is there for all parties, I believe all parties want for him to be an Inter player on a permanent basis after the end of next season. He still has to tread lightly because right now it's still a loan and it's still a business. So the fact that he's burning all those bridges right now, can you imagine how those players in the locker room of Chelsea's locker room feel like it was a mistake? What do you mean? Like, and those guys will never like him again. So again, like I'm saying, I have personally no doubt that he will be able to perform and score a bunch of goals, but there's still always in football there's always that that chance of that you get injured, you know. So that's why I say like he needs to tread lightly. I like the enthusiasm. I like the fact that he's doing all the stuff that Inter fans want to see to make us happy, but he needs to tread very lightly because it's still a business at the end of the day. And if he does get injured and he becomes a burden at the team, then we'll definitely send his ass back because we haven't signed anything. We didn't sign any obligations or anything like that. But to piggyback of what you were saying, also Ian, and answering Risto's questions, I've been happy with most of our signings. Let's start with Villanova. That's the guy that I've been following. I think he's gonna blow up. I like the attributes of his game. But I'll admit, like the first couple preseason matches, he hasn't shown us anything. To me, he's looked timid. He's tried that same little move to get past his man, which has failed a couple of times. When he does run, he doesn't look as smooth or as quick as I do remember him when he played against us. So, which led me to think that maybe he's probably just playing back into shape. And also, I had to remind guys on Twitter yesterday, hey, like, do you remember Dumfries when he first came to the team? What he looked like? Even Hakimi, the best wingback in the world, he had to be benched for a month or so before he can figure it out. So for guys come
Oh,
for guys, your guy cost us both goals, I think, yesterday, by the way. That was a good reason why you didn't watch the friendly. So let's let
I
that
don't care if
pass.
he scored the
Mhm.
first goal of the preseason. I don't care. I'm happy.
But yeah, I mean that was the reason why I'm saying, okay, like guys, let's not call the kid trash or we're gonna have to sell him already, or thank God is a loan with option. We're not gonna redeem him. Guys, let's think about those previous guys that we now love. It takes time. Let's give him time to figure out what Inzaghi wants from him, get back into shape, and I think he'll do just fine. Aslani's been a star, man. To a point where yes, Ian, I see people talking about they should find a way to start him, blah blah blah. I mean, I'm not that far ahead of myself, but I've been very impressed with him, especially in the position that we brought him in. It takes a lot of responsibility to come and play the ball from the keeper at sometimes. It takes a lot of balls to play that position like Brozo does. Because if you make one mistake and you lose the ball in that position, you could easily cost a goal. So to not be afraid to take that responsibility for the team, and to get lucky and score that goal, kind of like Brozo, like on a little rebound, kind of like Brozo would. I'm very happy. Mkhitaryan, he didn't look good yesterday. He struggled, but that's expected. Again, that's a guy, new signing, new position, not in shape. I feel like all those guys are gonna come good. I'm happy that we're targeting what were our weaknesses last year. I believe we'll be fine. So yeah.
Ian,
Hi.
which signing do you like the most so far? On paper, let's say.
Oh.
On paper, has to be one of the Balkan boys. Probably Aslani. He's here for the long run. He is. He
Why'd you make your
is.
face like that, Hristo?
He is 20
Oh,
years old, born in
he's not gonna
Teresa,
play.
but he's here for the long run. God forbid Brozovic leaves ever, ever. He is 29. It's going to come to an end in like 4 years, maybe less. I'm confident that if we can,
Jesus.
yeah. Hold on. I believe Aslani is a suitable replacement. Near enough country, give or take 500 miles, 200 miles, whatever it is in miles. Great player. I think he will also help relieve the pressure off him, just because we know that Brozovic likes to run every single game, and when he has his games where he is gassed out, we know how bad he can get. Let's not kid ourselves. So I think just that having a proper substitute for him that isn't Gagliardini or Glass Knees Sensi or Barella having to play there, God forbid, ever again,
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
I think is an amazing factor just in that, because Brozovic is probably the one player that makes this whole team tick. And from what I've heard now, from the goal I've seen that he scored against Lugano, um, the little tiki taka joga bonito style goal. I mean, let's wait and see.
Preseason though, innit? I hate preseasons. I've burned myself so many times. in preseason that I don't get excited at all. But I like the prospect of Aslan, I must say. I like his style, but competitive games are very different to friendlies, and I think the mentality is very different. Um, we shall wait and see because I saw the video of Onana making the save and the Inter fans going crazy.
Oh man,
And
that's a guy that we didn't mention, Ian. When we're talking about new signings, we didn't mention
yeah,
Onana.
and when Saif tweeted, Inter fans have been so hungry for saves and for actual goalkeeping skills. I was laughing, I must say.
No, no. I mean, that's he's spot on because they. I don't know if you watched the video with sound. They cheered those
Yeah,
saves like it was a goal. Like bro, we've been suffering, and you know what would have happened had it been Handanovic? He would have laser eyed it like that, and then he would have got mad at whoever the defender is. Like, yo, you blocked me. Why didn't you?
Ian, what do you have to say,
What is
bro?
it? What is
I
it, Ian?
have no Handanovic slander in here. I have
Ah,
none of it.
okay, fine. I guess we could praise Onana without slandering Handanovic, but to answer your question, Ian, I feel like there's only one answer to that. Like the best signing of so far, it has to be Lukaku. It definitely has to be Lukaku because I think he alone brings the team to a different level. And just seeing the two preseason matches that we've seeing him and Lotaro already combining together. That's something we didn't see all of last season. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's gonna help bring our team to another level. Let's let them get back into football fitness to a point where they're not sucking for air after playing Monaco. I think we're gonna be fine. And as for Onana, I was happy to see him finally start getting positives because the first preseason game, the highlight of it, I guess it was up and down. The highlight of it was the goal conceded, where people were saying that it was his fault, and it's arguable. He could have came out, or he could have at least communicated. We could say that although he did have that nice pre-assist to the Korea goal as well with the nice release. So it was up and down the first game, but yesterday
Wait,
he was pretty good. Mhm.
whose fault? Onana's fault.
On the goal, yeah. I mean, a lot of people say that on the goal that we conceded against Lugano, because
He doesn't
he could
speak
have
the
came.
language, and our defense consisted of D'Ambrosio. They seem dumb as
No,
fuck by not
yeah.
speaking English. So
No,
it's
see, here's
going.
my no. Here's my thing. Did he? Do you, I don't think he should be playing if he can't communicate with his defenders.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
my
so
point.
so that's why I'm
That's why.
saying that's what I'm saying. It got to be his fault. He has to have, even if you don't speak the language, you got to have a shout like "mio" or "no" or whatever, something. But he didn't say shit. You know, or I would say no, 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 something, or
Papara,
go get
papara,
it,
papara.
something, bro. But he didn't say anything. He just pretty much he faked it like he was gonna come out, and then he went back. So to me,
But
those who want to, I
that's
mean.
Handanovic rubbing off of him, not talking.
He did that wasn't laser eyes, that was laser mouth. He did the but I'm glad the second match he was yesterday he got two great saves and the crowd got behind him. That must do wonders for his confidence because that's a guy that I want to be starting for us by mid-season. I want him to be the undisputed starter, not on no back and forth situation because goalkeepers are very fragile mentally, so we don't want to have that.
Before going, what do you make of Maroto's statement by saying defenders are easier to replace than forwards or attackers are? Because I think
I mean,
Inter has had amazing strikers in the past 20 years, but amazing defenders, I think we've struggled for an amazing defender since the tripleta. We signed
For a decade.
Ranocchia, who we
Yeah.
thought was
bro,
going to be the future, and we didn't
listen,
sign another player for, what, 7 years until Skriniar?
listen. Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to answer your question. I'm ready to answer your question. Okay. Um, whatever Beppe says is the law. Okay, so I don't want to hear the rest of your question. Okay, he's right. Beppe is right, and I feel like what Beppe is saying is looking at the current market. You know what I mean? It's much easier to replace a defender than it is a striker. I know you guys seen the $100 million kid that Liverpool just signed. All right, that's what strikers going for now. Okay, this is $100 million striker nowadays. Darwin Nunez. Um, and think about it, like I love playing that game. Tell me, if you're buying a top striker right now, who are you buying? Who's available right now on the market? The striker market, Icardi, are you serious? The striker market has dried up. Whereas, like, let's say we sell a Lotaro, who are we gonna replace him with? Raspadori
Did
for
we talk
40
about
mil?
that?
Yeah, we did think about it, but when you really get to it and you want to approach it in a really realistic manner, personally, like I wouldn't have been against it because I you guys know I rate Raspadori, but at this point, as it stands, it's still a level below Lotaro, and it's still a player that I project can be at that level. But as of right now, no, it would be a major downgrade for me from Lotaro. So I think that's what Beppe is saying. Like, okay, we sell Lotaro right now. Who are we gonna replace him with of that level? Whereas if we sell Skriniar right now, we have Bremer that we can spend 30 mil on maximum plus a player, and it's not been proven that he is at Skriniar's level, but the kind of season he's had, he's coming off in Italy, where he was shutting down. He shut down every major striker in the league. Every single major striker he pocketed, led the top five leagues in interception and everything. Every defensive stat, he was top five there in the world. So that's the kind of season that guy's happening is coming off, and we can get that guy for 30 mil. So I think that's what Beppe was saying. Like the market right now is not favorable for us to be replacing a striker right now. When Darwin Nunez is going for 100 mil, and we're seeing what he's already looking like. Even though I do rate him and I do think he's gonna come good, but when you think 100 million, you're thinking the Neymars, those kind of players. That's how I still think. So not a project, not a kid that still needs to figure it out. So I think that's what Bepe meant. What do you think, Risto? Do you like my answer?
I mean, I want to hear Ian first so I can reply to both of you.
You
You
better, you
don't.
better, you better, better back me up, Ian. You better back me up, Ian.
You better back me up. No, like, okay, I'm not disputing what he said. It is true that it's harder to replace an attacker, but when you are selling the guy and there's like a 10 million difference, and the guy handling the negotiations goes out and says, "Oh, sure, sell him. We can replace him easier than any other player in the team." It's kind of like, why don't you just give him for 10 million less? It's just shoot yourself in the foot
No,
even more.
what
Yeah, I
does
mean,
that what does that say for players coming in? They're expendable. I mean, they
Exactly.
are, but you didn't say that. Bremer's coming here and is like, oh, I can be sold next season, and Lautaro can be ass and inconsistent and still, be the fucking number 10 of the team and the golden boy, whatnot. Come on.
It's the wrong time to have these kind of statements put out,
yeah,
even if it is to calm us as fans. I think
mhm,
this is still a business in the end of the day for
yeah,
people.
yeah. No, I agree with Ian. That's a good point. Like I feel like that Beppe is usually very shrewd when it comes to statements that he's making. That may have been something that may have affected the negotiation with Skriniar because we see they refuse to meet our asking point. So yeah, go ahead, bro. I don't think you finished.
Oh no, that was it. I'm just waiting for Hristo now.
No, my point was that, you, as Dave just said, you don't say shit like that because that can derail the negotiation. That can only go against you. It won't help you in any way possible because we know that strikers are, you know, overvalued or valued a lot more than defenders. I mean,
Yeah,
hell, 34-year-old Lewandowski was just sold for 60, 65 million.
I mean, but that's Lewandowski though. Let's be honest.
But it's a
Yeah, but like,
34-year-old Lewandowski
I mean, that's
it's
still
still.
Lewandowski.
that he never played in Spain.
But that's still Lewandowski.
But it's nepotism.
But so far, he has played with players like Sane, Gnabry, and Miller, and now he's gonna fuck off and play with Ferran Torres, Memphis Depay, and Sergio Busquets. So
Right?
I
Yeah.
think
Okay, Risto, you want to go ahead and pick the worst players in the team, like they did
no, no,
not
no, no, no.
just sign
We're talking
like.
about
Like
we're talking about Barcelona who struggled and
okay,
signed.
yeah, no, I agree. But Lewandowski, he's going to be playing with Rafinha that they just signed, who's a pretty good winger. Dembele that was on fire at the end of the
Oh,
season when he was
come
playing.
on,
No, let's be honest now.
Dembele.
Let's be honest. I'm not making shit up. Am I pulling stuff out of my butt here? Like when he came in,
Dembele's
and the latter part of the season for Barcelona, Dembele was probably their best player, my guy. Like
contra Kier, Perisic, Dembele,
okay,
amazing.
okay. You know what? I'll give that to you because you at least you've been consistent with that little theory of yours. So I respect it, but I
No,
don't necessarily agree. But I
it's
feel
not
like because the
about
guy's still
being.
24 years, he's 24 years old still. Risto Dembele,
25.
25, big difference.
But you know the big difference. No, but you know the problems he's had with injuries. It's like, dude.
I agree. No, but what I was saying is this: I feel like Lewandowski is still like easily top three strikers in the world. 34 years old or not?
Definitely
Yeah, 34 years old or not. So yeah, he just went for what 50 mil. So
45 with
60.
5 in add-ons. That's
No,
that's
like,
perfect.
I think the latest is like 45 plus 5 and 10 millions if he stays at Barcelona until the end of the season. So that's like I think I'll work
Wait, so there's
around.
a possibility he does it?
No, no, no. I think there's
hold
like
on.
we'll
Hold
give you
on.
10 million, but in the next season. I think I've
Okay,
read. I'll send you the link. I
yeah,
mean,
please.
I do agree with that and the statement that you've said, but like I don't know. I'm just very disappointed in
But we
Aston and
didn't.
Skriniar.
But we didn't solve the let's solve the issue here, Risto. Like, give me names. Let's say like, okay, you know what? I agree with you. I'm a big screener guy, as you know as well.
Yeah.
Let's say we sell Lotaro. What do we do? What would well? I guess I can
No, no,
answer
no.
my
Just
own
wait a
question.
second. Wait.
I gue-
Uh, we have to ask first. First of all, what's the goal of the club? If the goal of the club is to win the league, then you don't sell Skriniar. If the goal of the club is to make money, then you sell both Skriniar and Lautaro, because I don't think you'll replace either of them with one player.
well, I mean, it doesn't have. It's not one or the other. It's two things could be true. The goal of the club is to make money and to be competitive. It's not one or the other.
Can
And the
you
thing
tell me
is,
one example for who that has worked?
what do you
Literally
mean?
one. A club that's always in profit and competes for trophies and or wins it. There's not
I mean,
literally not a single club in the world right now.
I'm not saying the club is like a Dortmund that our goal is to make profit like that. But what I'm saying is the current goal is to make a 60 million profit because we know we have a debt that we have to pay. Like it's the goal, and the goal is to do that while staying as competitive as we can. Make enough money to pay off that debt. That, by the way, we took that debt to run the club. It's not going into Steven Zhang's pockets or whatever. The goal is to make money to pay off that debt whilst trying to be as competitive as we can, and I think that's what we're trying to do. Um, my question I was actually asking you earlier about the Lotaro situation, I guess if you have a player like Dybala still available for free, you could probably sell a Lotaro and bring Dybala to play with Lukaku, and then maybe go get a young player, maybe a Raspadori or something like that for the next couple of years. Hopefully, he develops while Dybala is still there, something like that, and you keep Skriniar. Okay, that's a solution that I would be okay with living with, but I don't know. I feel like Beppe just doesn't trust the whole striker market right now. Seeing the price that guys are going for, not only the price that guys are going for, but the scarcity of guys. We have Skamaka that teams are about to actually pay 50 million for him right now. We were joking saying that, yeah, we're gonna get him for 25 plus one of our Primavera players. Remember, we were saying that. but there's a team that's about to pay 50 million for Skamaka right now. So the
I
market
mean,
is crazy, and that's what imagine that. Imagine the level of players. Imagine paying 50 million for Skamaka, paying 30 million for Bremer. You see the difference? Bremer is like this
if
caliber of player compared to
but
Skamaka, but
the
for
difference
20
between
million
both,
less.
but the difference in between both is that for one, there's a Premier League team interested. For the other, he has his eyes, heart, desire set on Inter. That's it. There's nothing else. It's not about
I agree.
striker, defender. It's about Skamaka being a striker who's I don't even rate him highly.
Hmm.
I,
But
and and if PSG was interested in PSG only,
okay,
that's like 30-35. But if
here's
West Ham
my
is interested,
here's my rebuttal to that, bro. I feel like that's part of Pepe's statement as well, because he knew, like, it's been reported what we've had an agreement for Bremer since what, January. So he's like, okay, what's the point of selling Lotaro and going to spend 50 million on a player that's not even at that level, like Skamaka, for example, and when we could actually get a player that literally has the trophy for being the best in the league. We have an agreement for him. We can get him for 30. I think that's pretty much what he means. And when you think about it like that, it makes sense, in my opinion. The only other solution I would have thought about is the Dybala solution if you have to sell Lautaro, because Dybala just so happens to be available for free that summer. So to me, it would probably be a good occasion for you to sell a guy like Lautaro. You could probably bring in Dybala for free and even if you're giving Suning, well, let's say you sell Lautaro for 100 mil, you give Suning 70 mil. You could spend 30 on a Raspadori or something like that, still bringing Dybala for free. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I guess I'm rambling.
I mean, I don't even rate Lautaro that highly as much as other fans or people are because he's just inconsistent. That's it. For a striker to be worth 100 million or 60, 70, 80, I want consistency. And just like my boy Perisic, he hasn't been consistent. And with that, I think it's a good place to end the podcast because you need to think about something and come back to me. Apologize, I would say. Apologize for the bad takes throughout the season. Apologize for many more things.
Who, me?
Yeah, you just muted. If
I
you're
think the
swearing,
person
bro,
gets the fuck out of you.
Dave muted himself.
Probably saying stuff that's not about
Wait.
That means I don't have bad takes. The computer won't let me say it. You see, I just disconnected my mic by accident. That's what
No,
happened. But fine, Risto, I'm sorry for all my arrogant takes that I've been wrong on. I'm not gonna stop, and that's how I am. But at the end of the day, I'm right more than I'm wrong.
hopefully, that will continue throughout the season. As Ian is preparing to say something.
We all know your wet dream is signing Gillian Ostrovsky. So,
Nah. My dream would be Quaresma signing and retiring with us. Would be an amazing option off the bench. I can make a business plan. I can make a PowerPoint presentation if you wanted me to. Number 7 would be free if Sanchez. Who the Sanchez were 7? I've forgotten. I haven't watched football in 2 months. All eyes on Serie A and NFL in a month and a half. Thanks for joining me, guys. Hopefully you'll have better opinions in the future. But there's something that we can only hope for. Thanks again. Ciao.
brothers and sisters of the world.